Hi there. Earlier this month, Amazon announced two new Kindles, a brand new Kindle Paperwhite as well as the Kindle Paperwhite Signature Edition. These are both updated versions of the Kindle Paperwhite, and right now they're coming out at the end of October, just in time for the holiday season. The Kindle Paperwhite is still available for release day at the end of October. However, if you want the Signature Edition, you order it right now, you won't be getting it until the end of November or early December. So be sure to place your order in advance right now if you want it before the end of the year. One other quick note to mention is the old Kindle Paperwhite that's being replaced is actually on sale for $89. If you're looking to buy that, now might be the best time to get it brand new from Amazon directly. Check out my Kindle comparison video to see if that device is right for you. Now in today's video, I'll be talking about three different things. The first one is actually talking about the new Kindle Paperwhite and comparing it to the older version to see what exactly is new and different. Then we'll be talking about the Signature Edition and comparing that to the regular new Kindle Paperwhite. And then lastly, Amazon also announced a bunch of new accessories. We'll be doing a quick talk about that as well. Now let's actually start off by talking about the Kindle Paperwhite and what's new about it, just the basic version of it. The one thing that has not changed is the ads are no ads. This drives me insane. When you buy the Kindle Paperwhite, you have two variations to choose from for a $20 difference, an ad version and a no ad version. I'm really annoyed at Amazon for making you pay $20 extra just to remove ads from your screensaver. If you want a clean experience, I think it's worth doing. It's just annoying that they haven't removed this option, even with the new Kindle Paperwhite coming out this year. One thing that has changed though is the price. The starting price for the new Kindle Paperwhite is $139. That's actually $10 more than the last model, which started at $129. And of course, the no ad version is $20 more on top of that. So it is a bit more expensive, but you are getting a lot more features, which we'll talk about right now. Now, two things they kept the same from the old Kindle Paperwhite is the waterproofing, which is really, really nice, and also Bluetooth support for Audible books, which is also very nice, but they added a bunch of new things on top of those awesome features. The first being a larger display. Look, this Kindle Paperwhite, the old version over here, has giant bezels, and I really hated these bezels on this Kindle Paperwhite. On the new device, they have a 6.8-inch display, which is almost the same size as a 7-inch display on the Kindle Oasis. That's going to be a very welcome upgrade. Basically what they're doing is keeping the shape of the Kindle Paperwhite, just making the bezel smaller and making the screen bigger. One thing I am curious about though is how we'll be able to hold the new Kindle Paperwhite. These giant bezels on the side are actually somewhat useful for holding the device. On the Kindle Oasis, you kind of have this edge that's meant for holding it. On the Kindle Paperwhite, you rely on the bezels. So I'm very interested to see if there's still enough room for your thumb to rest on the side to properly hold the new device. Now, in terms of resolution, the device is still 300 ppi resolution, which is just fine. I have no complaints about that. But one thing they did upgrade is the lighting of the display. Before, on this original Kindle Paperwhite over here, there are only 5 LEDs that you have to choose from in terms of lighting up the display. On the new Kindle Paperwhite, they have 17 LEDs. That's a massive upgrade. They're advertising a 10% brighter display at the maximum brightness. Now that is still a little bit less than the Kindle Oasis, which uses 25 LEDs, but is still a massive improvement from the 5 LEDs of the older model. Moving right along, let's talk about the really big stuff over here. The biggest upgrade, in my opinion, is the new Kindle Paperwhite. It has the warm light temperature control. This thing is a must-have. That's one of the main reasons why I love my Kindle Oasis. The fact that they're bringing this to the Kindle Paperwhite is a huge deal. I think a lot of people will benefit from this. And on top of that, the biggest upgrade is USB-C support, which is the first Kindle to support USB-C. As you can see, I'm very excited about that. No more micro USB. I really hope every other Kindle will get that in the near future as well. Now, one more cool upgrade the new Kindle Paperwhite is getting is a bigger battery. The old Kindle Paperwhite that I have right over here will last 6 weeks on a single charge, using it for a half hour every single day. On the new Kindle Paperwhite, you get 10 weeks. almost double the battery length using the same settings as the old device. I'm very interested to see how that will work. I never really charged this thing very much to begin with, so having a larger battery on top of that is just amazing. Now, there are a few things they actually got rid of on the Kindle Paperwhite. The first is you can no longer choose which color you want. I find that to be a bit disappointing. I have the blue one right over here. I love this one. It stands out from all my other devices. I'm kind of sad they're removing the color options, but that's okay, not the biggest deal in the world. On top of that, you can no longer choose your storage capacity, and you no longer have the ability to get the cellular model for the Kindle Paperwhite. In terms of storage, if you don't get the Signature Edition, you're only gonna have 8 gigs of storage on this device. I don't think it's a big deal at all. If you're just reading books and you aren't putting audiobooks on your device, 8 gigs of storage is a lot of space for hundreds, if not thousands of books on your Kindle. I don't think it's worth upgrading just for storage capacity. Only if you use Audible a lot on your Kindle, then it might be worth considering. The one question I do have about the new Kindle Paperwhite, both the Signature and the regular version, is if they're upgrading the processor. That would be even a better upgrade compared to the old Kindle Paperwhite. The only other complaint I really have about this device is it's a bit slow compared to my Kindle Oasis. So we'll have to see. Amazon does not really disclose their processing power or RAM or anything like that on their specs page. So until we get the device in person, we won't really know the answer to that. All right, now let's talk about the new updated version of the Signature Edition. So again, you don't have to get this. All the features I just talked about are available on the baseline Kindle Paperwhite, but the Signature Edition has a bit more on top of what I just discussed. It also costs a bit more. Starting price is $189. Now, the one thing I do find interesting with the Signature Edition is there's no option for the ad-supported model. You can only buy it with no ads. And I think that makes a lot of sense for the premium model. It does cost $189. Technically speaking, if there was an ad-supported model, that would cost $169. We'll have to see, maybe in the future they add that as an option, but as of right now, you can only buy it without the ads for $189. Also, just like the other Kindle Paperwhite, there's no option to choose color, storage capacity. It's only Wi-Fi only as well. The one thing I do like though is with this Signature Edition, you have a baseline 32 gigabyte option. There's no lower option than that. You're gonna get 32 with the Signature and 8 gigabytes with the regular. Now, in terms of what's different between the regular edition and the Signature Edition, there are a few things. The first one is storage capacity, which I already talked about. The second thing after that is the ambient light sensor. If you don't know what an ambient light sensor is, it basically will adjust the brightness of your display automatically based on lighting conditions around you. If you have an iPhone or an Android, your phone will do this automatically. The Kindle Oasis also has an ambient light sensor. I really do like this feature. It's a very nice quality of life upgrade, and I'm glad the Kindle Paperwhite has that as an option now too. Do I think it's a must-have? Absolutely not. Just the warm light temperature control on the baseline model, that's what's important. But the ambient light sensor is a very nice premium feature that they're adding over here to the Signature Edition. And the next big upgrade that the Signature Edition has over the regular Kindle Paperwhite is wireless charging. I have mixed feelings about this, mainly because a Kindle is a pretty large device compared to a phone or something else you normally would use for wireless charging. Like, for example, I would not want to wirelessly charge my iPad. That's a much bigger device. It wouldn't really fit on a proper wireless charging pad, the ones I already have for my phone, for example. With the Signature Edition, they're also going to be selling a wireless charging dock separately from the Kindle. You can buy this and pre-order it right now, but it won't be shipping until December. I'll be doing a review about that once it does come out. But the interesting thing about this is it's a massive charging dock for your Kindle. I saw some concerns online from people saying that the charging dock may be something you have to buy to wirelessly charge. It looked like from the picture, the charging is happening from the bottom of the device, but that's not true. The charging dock actually has the coil on the back of the device, so you can use your Kindle on any other charging pad that you might have laying around. But the real question is will it fit properly on your charging pad? You may have to buy the Amazon one, which is made by Anker. If you zoom into the picture, you can see the Anker branding. Anker is a great brand. I use their products all the time, so no worries about that. But the charging pad has to be big enough to hold your Kindle. Now, before talking about the accessories, I want to give my quick thoughts on the Signature Edition. Personally, I don't think it's worth it. If you're on a budget, it doesn't make any sense. The basic Kindle Paperwhite, the new one that's coming out, has all the important features that you're going to need. If you don't have a budget restriction though, then paying a little extra money is a really nice benefit. You get wireless charging and you also get that ambient light sensor with more storage capacity, but those features by themselves aren't worth the price upgrade in my opinion. I personally think the regular Kindle Paperwhite by itself is basically going to kill the Kindle Oasis because it's so much cheaper than the Oasis and you're getting almost exactly the same features as the Oasis minus the metal build quality. I'll be talking more about that in my official review when I get my hands on the new Kindle Paperwhite. All right, the last thing I want to talk about quickly are the new accessories coming out for the Kindle Paperwhite. There are quite a few. The first one being that wireless charging dock made by Anker. I won't talk about that because we already discussed that. The next thing are a bunch of new cases. The first one being this cork case. There's a light version and a dark version. This is the first time they're making a cork style case for the Kindle Paperwhite. It costs $50. I'm interested to see how it feels and how it behaves with the Kindle Paperwhite. I already bought one, so hopefully I'll be getting it soon. Review coming on that very shortly. Besides the cork cases, there are also fabric and leather cases available. The fabric cases come in blue, black, and this new color called lavender haze. I don't know why they call it lavender haze. It's very much a pink color from the pictures, but it costs $30. It looks really nice. And leather cases come in blue, black, lavender haze, as well as a Murloc red. So you have 4 color options for leather. Those cost $40. Like I mentioned, I bought all the new Kindle Paperwhite stuff coming out later this month. Stay tuned for all the review videos for everything we just talked about. A quick recap in terms of what's new for the new Kindle Paperwhite. You get the warm light temperature control, you get USB-C, you get the 6.8-inch display, and on the Signature Edition, you get the ambient light sensor as well as wireless charging. A lot of fun stuff coming soon. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. I want to see if you're buying the new Kindle Paperwhite. Is it worth the upgrade? Let's find out. Now, if you enjoyed this video, check out my previous video comparing the Kindle Paperwhite to the Kindle Oasis. In that video, I talk about why I don't think it's worth buying the Kindle Paperwhite. My opinion on that will definitely be changing in the coming month, but until then, you can check that video out to see why I don't like the older version and why I love the Kindle Oasis so much. Link for that on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.